Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Again, that's my second video, and it's gonna be a short video tutorial how to set up the Zibo 737-800 to be looking like the Ryanair one. Basically, that's all default setup of the Zibo 737-800. I just reset the values so we can go through it together once again. I mean, in Ryanair we have two different, actually maybe a bit more different versions, but basically we have the older ones and the newer ones. And I will try to set it up, and I'll show you how to set it up as a newer airplane, so the newest one we have in the fleet. First of all, we go to the iPad, and we go to the page number 2, configure and customize. And we start from left, so display and variants. Fuel gauge, side by side or over under. That's the side by side fuel gauge, and that's the over under fuel gauge with the totalizer below, that's summing up the fuel. The older airplanes will have the side by side, but the newer one, as we're trying to set it up, it's over under. The second, and the display, track up or heading up, that's depending on what it will be showing in here. And in most of the Ryanair airplanes, I think all of them, it's actually track up, so we leave it on track up. And the display distance rings, that's this little rings showing in the ND. This option can be switched either on or off. In Ryanair, yes, we have it on, so we leave it on yes. LDU, so lower display unit flight control, yes or no. And lower display unit, we go to systems, and Ryanair doesn't have this button at all, so it's not there, but we cannot switch it off. And if we go to systems, it's showing brake temperatures and flight control position, hydraulic systems status. So you can go to the LDU flight control, we go to no. It's disappeared, and LDU brake temperature we go to no as well. So basically that's how in Ryanair it will look like. I did fly some airplanes that had these features. It's quite useful, but you still can get everything from the QRH, from the documents. The next, iris position entry message align. Yes, we go to yes, and that's basically once we put the selectors to nav and they go to align, they will start flashing when there is no position entered. And once I put the position initialization, go to second page, GPS left as a default, and I enter the set iris position, it will just show up. That's it. Long LED strobes. So that's the thing, the new airplanes will have the long LED strobes, the old ones won't, so I show the difference. If I switch on the strobe lights and I go outside, they're flashing like this. That's the LED strobe. It's very nice. It's the new ones, all the new airplanes have it. And if you go to no, it has just the halogen strobes. The regular ones, they flash like this. I didn't expect that Zibo, the freeware model, will have such a feature like this. That's quite immersive, and I'm quite satisfied. And I go back to long LED strobes, yes. Yeah, I don't need a speed brake anymore, I guess. And the strobe lights are going to off. Winglets. We have three options: none, blended or split. None, of course we don't have any winglets. Ryanair has started to fly 800s without any winglets. In the beginning was late, like early 2000s. Now all of the 800s have the blended winglets. They look like this, that's the regular winglet. And the last option, it's split. It's the Max style winglet. but the decision of Ryanair was not to fit these winglets into 800s. They can do it, but they won't do it. So to keep it real, I will just stick to landed winglets. Oh, it just started to rain. Nice. Satcom. So if the Satcom is set to none, because some operators use the Satcom, some don't, Ryanair doesn't. If we have none, the top of the fuselage looks like this. There is absolutely nothing except the VHF and VR antennas. We can, I just show you how does it look if you use both. If you use both, they has this little two bumps. But since we don't have Satcoms, I just leave it on none. On the next side, landing pools light. And that's kind of US stuff in Europe. I don't think there's operator in Europe that's using landing pulse lights. If you put it to yes and you switch on the landing lights, they will just keep pulsing. It's kind of really mostly used in the US, not in Europe anymore. And it does look like this outside. It's just pulsing, flashing, whatsoever. So we'll leave this option to no. The landing lights, halogen or LED. The halogen lights, they fitted on the older airplanes. They look like this. We have 4 switches. We have fixed and retractable lights. So altogether 4 landing lights, and we have, you can see that 1, 2, 3 and 4 in here. And additionally, in this configuration, we do have as well nose taxi light. So the older airplanes will have this one, and if you're flying the new one that we're trying to set up for as LED, and then we have just 2 switches, and the difference is there's just one in here, one in here, and there is no taxi light on the nose wheel, because all of these lights are incorporated in these 2 lights on the wings, including of course the runway turn-off lights. So basically they 2 lights except of 5. The next one, head-up display for the captain, yes or no. 737 can have head-up display only for the captain side. We don't use it, so I just leave it on no. PFD, angle of attack, radio altimeter. Angle of attack, radio altimeter, and that's the option. It's showing you radio altimeter and angle of attack, and array or circular array, and Ryanair is using the circular array. So basically at 2500 feet it will show 2500, and then at 1000 below it will just go round one. It will be circle and it will be just closing down. So that's the option we want to have, and it's showing -4. That's completely normal as the airplane is slightly pitched down. So that's -4 because it's accounting for the pitch up. When we touch down, the pitch is a little bit higher, so it's showing 0, not -4 at touchdown. The next one, COM radios decimal digits, 2 or 3. As you see, we have 3 in here, and that's the normal thing nowadays, as we have this 8.33 kHz separation. If you select 2, it's looking like this. I haven't seen it for like 7 years already, so I just leave it on 3 to be on the real one. Multi-mode receiver. So basically the older airplanes will have this kind of radios. There are 2 separate radios. And the newer ones will have the multi-mode receivers that looks like this. And in this radio you can select VR, ILS or the GLS, so GPS landing system. And instead of knobs like the old radios, you just set like ILS 1103, and then you can set it on active. Yeah, it's the same frequency in a way. The next one, aspirated tack probe, we leave it on yes. And the next big thing is the array callouts. And Ryanair, we have all the callouts below 50 feet. So we have 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. Some operators will have 50, 30, 10, some will have 50, 30, 20, 10, but Ryanair have all of them. Then the 100 feet callout, we don't have it. 200, we don't have it. 300, we don't have it either. And 400, we don't have it either. And actually flew the airplanes that they had these callouts, and I found it pretty, to be honest, distracting, so I don't find it nice. Maybe you want to switch on, but Ryanair doesn't have it either. Array callout 500 feet, we have three options: smart, hard or no. If you select no, it won't say anything. If you select smart, it will depend on the flight status, and hard will always say it. So basically those two, 1500, Ryanair has a smart mode. So that means if we're doing the precision approach with the ILS and glide path, it will call 500, but it won't call 1000. And non-precision approach, it's all the way around. So depending if you're doing ILS or non-precision, it will call either 500 or 1000 feet. The next option, array callout 1000 feet stabilize. No or yes. Yeah, we don't have it. No, we don't have it. The FO is doing that. So I switch to no. Array callout 2500 feet. Three options again: no, smart or hard. Ryanair has the hard one. So always at 2500 you get 2500. And multimode receiving backlight at orange or white. That's the orange. That's the white one. I'm not sure, but I think the most airplanes have the orange one. Doesn't really matter. Ground power cable connect auto. Chrono digital seconds, yes or no. We don't have the chrono digital seconds, so we start the timing. It will just show full minutes. It's not showing seconds. If you go to yes, it will just show seconds. But we don't have it. It's just full minutes in here. And yes, just reset it. Nice. PFD VREF. Non-flap speed or speed, and it will be setting the speed bags according to flap speed position, speed or none. And Ryanair has the flap speed option active. TCAS dot range, yes, we have it, and TCAS dot range, TCAS off, of course. We go to TA array, and the TCAS dot range is just this little dots showing on the ND as well. And yes, we have this. So if you switch it off, it looks like this, but yes, we leave it on. The next big thing is takeoff flight director heading select. No, we don't have it. So basically, if we arm the auto throttles and flight directors, and auto throttles, flight directors, auto throttles, and sorry for the sound, but if I press toga, I use the mic toga, it's gonna be N1 toga. And yes, N1 toga. I just recycle the flight directors now. I recycle flight directors on. Flight on, auto throttles on. And if I switch on this option, and once again I press toga, it's N1 heading select toga. So basically I switch it off so we don't have the sound. Basically this option is going to no. Init ref button smart, yes, it's going to smart. So basically if I press the init ref button, it will bring me to the different pages depending on the phase of flight. On the ground it usually brings me to performance initialization, or if it's all set, it will bring me to the takeoff page. But it's later on, and during the flight, if I press init ref during the flight, it will bring me to this page later on. But to show you one day I'm flying. So we leave it on yes, FO callouts, that's the same thing. I will leave it on yes as well. Back hardware, toe brakes axis, nose wheel axis, I leave it to yaw, but that's all the same thing. Throttle noise lock, parking brake remove chocks, hot throttle engage lock, throttle yaw, body center, hardware, and that's all. Realism, that's a big thing. Align time, I'll leave it on real, and it's depending on the latitudes, it takes from 4 minutes up to 15 minutes. If you're going to Norway, it takes a long time to align the PFD and RSS. The fuel time, it's again same thing, I leave it on real, and yeah, depending on you. Posted touchdown, it's off. Tire blow and vents on, yoke movement, that's a big thing. So on the other airplanes we used to have that if you do the yoke movement in flight it would go to CWS mode, and the newer ones it would just disconnect the autopilots fully. So I think now all the airplanes are disconnect autopilot, so I just leave it on this one. Parking brake set to simple. That's the difference is that in the sim I have to press the brakes and then pull the brake, and for the sim is quite inconvenient, so I just leave it simple. Fmc Input Lag. That's another thing. So if I go to the FMC and the lag is off, I press 21, 21, 21, it's just instantly popping up. But if I turn it on and I press 21, 21, 21, whatever, it has some lag as you see, and the real airplane has a lot of lag, so just leave it on. Autopilot yoke neutral, I put the real, so it's not disconnecting autopilot all the time, I just touch the yoke. Visual effects, it's more about your computer if it can pull it or not. Passengers, show height, auto, just like show. General config, global units. In Europe you use kilograms, baro units, hectopascals, minimums, radio baro, you use baro. But the last two you can switch on here as well. The minimums we use baro minimums, except when you're doing the ILS Cat 2 or Cat 3, then we use radio minimums, and that's required by the authorities actually. Hide yoke, I leave it on show. Chocks on startup, yeah, just leave it off. Engine no run, cold dark, VR radio course on. Flight plan safe format, and checklist simple or detailed. Actually, whatever I set in here, at least in Ryanair, the checklist looks absolutely the same, and to be honest it's quite real one. I like it, it's really nice. I discovered it like yesterday, it's super nice. You can pull up the checklist and just use it. Going back to the aircraft configuration, sync pilot QNH minimum, I leave it off. If you go to captain, and yeah, standby bar as well. If you move this one, it will just change all the QNHs. I just leave it off to keep it real. Satcom radios, create custom nav data, just leave it. Audio features, audio volumes, that's all up to you. And the last thing we can change to Ryanair is go back to home, PA system, PA settings, and announcement set number, I think it's 13.
Ryanair
13. Yes, Ryanair is set number 13. That's all done. Then we go to save and load configuration, and I always do quick save, and then manage aircraft presets, save on one, manage audio presets, save on one, and state presets. That's the state you actually have. So if you want to set something, yeah, that's in here. So basically it would look like this. It's the most, let's say, recent and the newer Ryanair airplane. It will look like this. All the switches and columns. It's like 95% same for me. The one difference, the start switches, the start levers and the newer ones are the Max style ones, but it's not a big thing. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I see you next time. Fly safe, bye bye.